he was a good guy, man. He was a good guy. We hung out a lot, and when he wasn't flying, he was at the squadron, and I was there at another squadron too, but he was a good guy, man. I was really saddened when I heard that he had got shot down and and shot. You know, um, he didn't die in the crash. He was shot exiting the craft.
I
That's
did.
how he died. That's how I understand happened. Uh, but I think two other members died, and there was a survivor. Uh, I think the co-pilot or one of the pilots was survived. We were both corporals in Vietnam, and when I got back, they made me a sergeant because I was still in the helicopter field. When I got back, Camp Pendleton has a helicopter field there, and that's where both I was coming. I came back, and that's was Rudy was supposed to come back. He knew that he was coming back to Camp Pendleton to the airfield, and that's when I found out when I got there off leave that he never made it back. I saw him the day before. I'm pretty sure it was the 13th
Yes.
because I knew he said he might go on the mission the next day. Uh, so I mean I saw him right before he flew. When I left boot camp, I was stationed at the air facility in Santa Ana. That's a helicopter base at the time. There were blimp hangars, but it's also the headquarters for Marine Aircraft Group 36. And there was 5 squadrons in that group. One of them was a VMO 6. That was Rudy's squadron. I was in the group logistics, you know. But we shipped together on the ship, and that's where I met him, aboard the ship. We sailed out of Long Beach in an aircraft carrier. They put all the helicopters on that aircraft carrier.
Do you remember the aircraft carrier name?
Yes, the USS Princeton. The USS Princeton is no longer in duty. It was decommissioned a while back. But it was a strict. It wasn't an aircraft carrier. It was a helicopter carrier. It would transport helicopters. It had a flat top, but no jets or planes would fly out of it. We sailed the Hawaiian Islands to Pearl Harbor, and 5 days after we left Long Beach, and then we loaded more supplies there in Pearl Harbor, and from there we went to Olongapo in the Philippines, and we were there for about 4 days practicing helicopter assaults. And then one morning we took off and sailed directly to Vietnam, where we made a helicopter assaults and landings on the beach in Chulai, north of Chulai, a place called Kyha, Kyha, and that's where we set up the camp, the helicopter camp. I didn't see Rudy much then, although I did know him aboard the ship, but I didn't see him because everybody was scattered. I was out in the perimeter, in a rifle company, and Rudy was back in the helicopter coop, with the group. And then after that, I started seeing him at the where we had little chow, and next thing you know, we're having a few beers, and his time off, we would get steaks. I would get steaks from the sailors for boots. The sailors that landed wanted boots and jackets and stuff. And in return, they give us boxes of ribeye steaks. And Rudy would come over to my hooch, and some of the other Mexican boys, a couple of guys from Laredo and a couple of guys from San Antonio, and we'd come over and some of them would get tortillas from home and, stuff like that, and beans. And, we had a little barbecue at night sometimes, man. But every now and then they'd send mortars, and the Viet Cong would send mortars into the airfield at night. and the sky would light up, and we'd have to secure, just get in our bunkers and stay there till the attack was over. But Rudy went in quite a few missions. Uh, Rudy volunteered to be a gunner. He wasn't a crew chief. He was strictly a gunner. He was on the opposite side of the crew chief. And I don't know how many missions he flew before his last one. It must have been 20 or 30 missions, man. He was always flying. He'd come back and tell me about it, and I'd listen. And I personally, I never volunteered to be a gunner, although I had an opportunity. But I just stayed back,
But why didn't you want to be a gunner? What was the difference?
Getting killed.
It was high risk.
Simply, they would get extra combat pay, which, it was okay, but it was very risky, to fly. Rudy had a lot of guts, man. He was right there. He was first to go. He just wanted to be in the battle, and he'd come back. Jesse, you know what? I think I shot about 5 motherfuckers. That's what he'd say. He belonged to that VMO squadron, the Huey squadron, which is those small helicopters. He pretty much had priority to be a gunner. There was a lot of guys that wanted to fly and be gunners, but they really took the ones from VMO 6 first. Those were the guys that had priority. So Rudy was always up there, flying around, man. A lot of medical evacuations, and they do a lot of medevacs. They pick up wounded and bring them back to camp, and we'd help offload the shoppers, the wounded and stuff like that. But yeah, he wasn't very big. Rudy was kind of thin. He wasn't very, very big. He was about my size, about 5'7", 5'8", and but he's a great guy.
When he volunteered, I mean, did he do it for the pay, or he just wanted to do it because of the action?
The action. Rudy loved the combat action, man. He loved to fly. When you fly in those little choppers with a M60 machine gun sticking out, and you're hanging by a strap, that's how they secured you to the inside of the helicopter, with the strap, and he'd fly around, But he did a lot of missions. I know that for a fact. He was always flying. But we had some good times, man.
You remember all these things. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like yesterday. Yeah. It was 58 years ago, 59 years ago.
Yeah, I know, man. It was... It was hard.
Is it still hard for you?
Oh, yeah.